I've been delving deeper into astrology this week, and it's helped me come to the realization of a number of things, but it's also made me question a lot of other things. And I mentioned this in my talk a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember which day it was. The talk was called Astrology and Religion. And essentially it boiled down to I don't fully essentially the way I take to astrology is the same way I take to religion. I believe there's teachings, and I believe there's things to learn and things to gain from astrology, but it's not a prophecy, and it's not a religious text. So it's not to be taken in a literal sense, and it's not to be taken as fact. I believe that there's some form of incomprehensible, incomprehensible, inconceivable, whatever the fuck that word is. Some uncomprehendable medium, a physic, a science that we just don't understand. And I like to use the ants theory, and how an ant is so small and we are so big that it simply cannot comprehend who we are. They cannot comprehend our technology. If you put an ant on a piece of white paper and then use a black Sharpie or something, you can draw rings around it and almost fence it in and block it in. And it has no idea what's going on, because what's happening to it, it's only focused on that. It's getting blocked in. Something's stopping it. We know that it's actually absolutely fine, and it could walk straight over the black Sharpie fine. But because we're so much bigger and so much more intelligent than the ant, and maybe that's egotistical or naive, or maybe that's, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess naive is the right word. It's naive of me to think that, perhaps, that an ant is less intelligent than I am. Perhaps there's technology that they have that we don't understand, that I don't understand. But anyway, that's a different conversation. Astrology almost makes me believe that there is some form of higher power, a science that we just don't understand yet. We don't have the capability to comprehend it, and perhaps we'll never be able to comprehend it. And I guess that's almost the beauty of it in essence. And anyway, I've been delving using the old AI chat bots and reading some Reddit threads and shit. And it's helped me depict aspects of my life And it's also aspects of my life that have already occurred, the past. But it's also helped me depict perhaps what the future looks like and what I'm aiming for. And in particular, it's helped me understand my previous relationship. And the reason I say I don't take astrology in a literal sense is because the words on paper, or what I should supposedly feel, I kind of read as more of a way to challenge me, a way to challenge what I think I know about myself, and a way to challenge what I don't know about myself, or what I think I don't know about myself. And one of the key points I have discovered about my astrological star sign is I am almost like hyper empathetic, and I am a listening ear, and thus I gravitate towards people who are in need of emotional help, and I'm willing to wait out periods of hardship and hard times for what could potentially be and not what currently is, if you catch my drift. And I relate to that pretty heavily. I quite often now, or quite often at the time, would think, perhaps this isn't what I want, perhaps this isn't right, maybe I should do something about it, but I would almost just bat it off and, wait for something to change, and of course nothing ever changed. The other thing it brought to my eyes is something I think was fairly accurate, is how I'm a very fast thinker, and I read the room pretty quickly. But I don't always trust it straight away, and I don't always act straight away as a consequence. And that just hit me pretty hard as well, because I can think of several times in my life where I perhaps should have done something when I should have done something when I perhaps didn't do something. I kind of lost my train of thought. But going back to relationships, it kind of got me thinking, what sort of person would I attract if I naturally gravitate towards someone who is in an emotional state, which, as my only relationship I've ever been in was such a young relationship where obviously hormones are flying around. You're just not as mature, I guess. it was almost inevitable that my first relationship was something like that. And therefore I'm not mad about it. It almost feels like, as much as I say astrology isn't a prophecy, it almost feels like that was supposed to happen. And I hope I'm not sounding too soppy about this, because this relationship was years ago. I am well over it now. I'm just trying to depict some aspects of it, and I think astrology's almost given me a bit of clarity over it to some extent. And so naturally my thought process is I need, and I guess it's kind of what I want as well, just not even using astrological reasoning, just using my own reasoning and my own intuition. I've kind of come to a conclusion that I would like someone in my life, a partner in my life, who is very emotionally aware. And that's because I like to think I'm emotionally aware. Because two people being emotionally aware would just almost work. We would get each other more. We would understand each other's boundaries and space, and we would just get each other so much more. And I think that's where I'm coming at with that reasoning. And because my previous relationship kind of wasn't that, but I almost wanted it to be that, and I kind of forced myself to think, well, if I just hold on for long enough, then eventually it will be what I want it to be. But actually, that was never to be. And holy fuck, turn your full beams off. And yeah, I think that's almost why it came to its, I don't want to say inevitable, natural, I guess is a better word, natural end. Because it wasn't meant to be. And that was a conclusion I came to long before shitting hell, and I thought they were going to pull out in front of me. That was a conclusion I came to long before I got into astrology. Not got into astrology, I guess I have got into astrology. I guess I'm also kind of embarrassed I'm into astrology, which I just shouldn't be at all. It's oh, I forgot my straps. Fuck. I was supposed to be hitting back today and I forgot my straps. Anyway, sorry, that was so off topic. Oh no, I completely lost my train of thought. One of the other things I discovered about my astrologicalness is I'm highly loyal, and I think that's an extension, or kind of links into the fact that I kind of waited around in a relationship to see what would change. The two kind of link pretty closely, I think. But I think even just relationships aside, I think I've always had a pretty high degree of loyalty. I've had the same friends for a long time. There's never really anyone I've purposely dropped out of my life aside from like intermittent talking phases and partners, whatever. But that kind of leads me on to the other thing I learned is I'm also quick to like cut things off before there's like I guess like feelings, like an emotional, I can't remember exactly what it said, but essentially I like cut things off before it gets to a stage where I have to do something with it, if that makes sense. And that's a reoccurring pattern. And the pattern I see now is I just don't even bother trying to get to that stage. So I've kind of just been, I've actively avoided talking to girls and stuff the last few months just because I can't keep like doing it, man. I haven't got the energy and I can't be bothered with it. And I've not met someone like that I've had that click with. And again, I sound so soppy. Fucking hell. But it's true. And I'm very content with the fact that it will happen when it happens. I don't know how this astrology talk came into like just a relationship talk, but I'm not mad about it. Shit will happen when it happens, and you know, I'm not gonna actively go out of my way to look for it, especially not now. I've decided that that's not me. Act like a waste man. That's not me. Crazy song, by the way. Oh shit, I thought my microphone fell off. Fuck it, yeah, that'll do. That'll freaking do, dude. My ass is really wet, which is not great, but fuck it.